Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526. Welcome to Magicbricks Now. You're watching the Urban Debate. This is India's first property channel. I'm Faye D'Souza. Before we start our conversation for this evening, let's take a look at what's making headlines today. A connectivity boost is due for Mumbai. Work on the Colaba-Bandra-Seeps Metro could begin within the month. MMRCL has finalized who will build Metro 3. Magicbricks Now brings you exclusive details. But in the meantime, maximum mess in Mumbai while authorities are busy passing the buck. We stand with the citizens. We ask who's responsible for the present terrible plight of the city and that air pollution problem. Delivery of under-construction projects could speed up across the country ahead of RERA's rollout. Developers across the country rework strategies. Magicbricks Now brings you a complete lowdown on what you, the home buyer, can expect in the final run-up to RERA. Well, here's our big conversation for today. We're focusing on the Hyderabad market. It's been a dark horse for the last 1 year, but it's poised for a recovery. It also will have a brand new metro fairly soon. We're trying to find out if this means you should be opening up your checkbooks and making investments in Hyderabad. Now, the Hyderabad property market will get a gift on the Telangana State Formation Day, which is the 2nd of June. The government is working on a war footing to flag off the first leg of the Hyderabad Metro. Now, once the first phase of the Metro opens for the public, it will connect, and that's on your screen right now, Nagole and to Secunderabad railway station, Miyapur to SR Nagar, linking on the way Kakatpally, Erragadda, Moosapet and Uppal. Now, the property market in the city is expected to receive a major boost from this connectivity. I must remind you that the interesting part of the city, which is high-tech city, and the portions that receive a lot of that IT interest, so Jubilee Hills, Banjara Hills connected up to high-tech city, that's in phase 2. That's not being flagged off right now. The portions that are being flagged off are on your screen. What we're going to try and find out today is, will the new metro bring new markets into Hyderabad? And should you, as an investor of property, consider the Hyderabad market? What kind of returns can we expect? We've put together a panel this evening to find out what areas of Hyderabad stand to gain exponentially and if it's time to invest in Hyderabad. Sunil Agarwal, Director of RICS, joins me from New Delhi. Ram Reddy President, CREDAI Telangana, and R. Chalapathi Rao, Chief Convener at NAREDCO Telangana, representing builders, joins me now on the show. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're also going to open up the phone lines for anybody who has a question about investing in Hyderabad. Feel free to pick up the phone and call us. I'm going to start with Sunil Agarwal. Sunil, we were looking at that line of that brand new piece of connectivity that Hyderabad is going to receive. While it's excellent for the city, it's excellent for people who live in those two parts of the city, it doesn't connect the IT portions of the city yet. So if I were to ask you, my first question to you is simply this. Does Hyderabad make for a good investment option right now, especially comparing it to other markets like Bangalore, Chennai, maybe even Pune? Would you put your money on Hyderabad?
There are a number of factors in Hyderabad apart from metro as well to put money. I think the property price, when you compare this with Bangalore or Chennai, is still 30 to 40% below if I compare similar locations. The other thing is that Hyderabad has been the darling of the NRI investments for many, many years. And at some point in time in 2007, 8, 9, it was receiving the maximum NRI investments in the country. It's a city of 7 million people. I think it had its own fair share of run-up of prices, which, were because there was unlimited FSI. There were developers trying to go to far-out belts which were not connected. But I think with all that trouble behind us, I think Hyderabad is posed for at least 1,000 rupees a square foot kind of an appreciation over the next 2 years. So if I compare outskirts, which are in the region of 2,500, in that range, and then if you look at, let's say, the other parts, which are what you mentioned, Begumpet, Amirpet, the IT corridor, all, I think there is a fairly decent belief that you will get an average retail investor should get above 10% interest and more than that in Hyderabad.
Sunil, if you're saying that you see a 1,000 rupees a square foot bump up over the next 2 years, and Hyderabad, I'm looking at the numbers right now, is priced roughly between 2,000 rupees a square foot up to about, say, 4,500 rupees a square foot. So we're talking about anywhere between 50% to 30% to 50% bump up in most neighborhoods. Is that correct? Is that the kind of appreciation you're expecting?
Yeah, I think what is happening in the first phase of metro delivery phase is that you're in a city which is there with the metro. So I think one is that yes, government is putting its push behind metros. The moment these lines from Secunderabad get connected into the city, which is Hyderabad, Begumpet areas and this SR to sort of inner parts of the city, and the old part of the city connectivity happens, the fringes of the city will be connected to the main, social areas where you will have social infrastructure. So I think I would not say 2,000 will become 3,000, but 2,500 surely will become 3,000 plus 3,200, 3,500. And the places which are at 4,000, 4,500 definitely should see above 5,000, 5,500 mark. Now, that means an appreciation of approximately 12% to 15%.
So then, if I was a pure investor right now looking to invest in residential property, would you recommend Hyderabad over Bangalore, Chennai and Pune?
Absolutely, at right locations, definitely yes, Faye, because I think the prices, as I said, are depressed by 30 to 40%. There has been a market which has been lulled for a while, and also there is very interesting dynamics. We did our research numbers and said that if you look at Hyderabad today, what is the current supply that's coming into the market, and what we expect over the next 3 years is about 40 to 50,000 homes. Unless obviously that trend reverses, you still have a city of 7 million people, you have a demand of 40, 50,000 homes, and in so-called the formal supply, you still have a demand of 25,000 homes. Now, if you have 25, 30,000 homes in the demand zone, and your supply currently is, beefing up to only 15, 20,000, and you have an inventory overhang of 12 months or thereabout, I think in the next 2-3 years, you will see a price rise. Okay. And I think it is a city in line with Pune, at least a Pune in Chennai. And I would definitely say it's a good investment at this point in time.
All right, what I'm going to do is to help our viewers understand what we're talking about, we have something called the Prop Index. This is an index that's been worked on by our knowledge partner, Magicbricks.com. I'm going to put that up on your screen right now so you can take a look at the Hyderabad City Price Index. Now, if we take the September 2013 as the base and assign 100 to that, you'll see the way it's moved, and it's currently at December 15, which is where we left it last. It's currently moved up quite handsomely. Now, Hyderabad has actually been the dark horse in that last quarter of December 2015, has outperformed most other cities, which is something we did not expect. We'll pop that up and compare it against the other cities. So there you have it. These are the other cities right now. And you'll see Hyderabad pop up there, looking quite strong in comparison to the other cities. So Hyderabad's looking interesting at this point. Also, we'll notice that the supply that's coming in is coming in the sweet spot of affordability between 2,500 to 3,500 rupees a square foot. Ram Reddy, I want to understand from you, from the developers who are looking to add homes to Hyderabad at this point, what sort of neighborhoods are you considering? Are you considering the IT specific neighborhoods where the job creation is coming up, or will the metro actually open up new neighborhoods for investments?
No, it's both, D'Souza. IT, lot of IT companies are coming up. As you are aware, last debate also we discussed about it. And a lot of, big companies are setting up their offices, best offices in Hyderabad. Google, Amazon, Uber, and so many on. So that is a major this thing. And a lot of IT space also already being, commercial space are being already in a big demand. There is no space available actually when you want to invest in the IT space. Space is not available. This shows you the big impact on the even housing also. Definitely it's going to be a big impact on housing. Definitely there's a big demand is there in this thing. This metro is an added advantage. Definitely one of the best metros in the country, or we can say one of the best in the world, we can talk about it. So beautiful stations are coming up. So that is also a big advantage to this, definitely. Another thing, past several years there was no transactions, or not good transactions were happening in Hyderabad because of various reasons. Now that whatever the political uncertainty, everything has gone. recently that GHMC elections also gave a big impact on this thing also. There was some apprehensions about the Hyderabad. So Seemandhra people will go away from this place, they will vacate the place and all those things. So the mandate what he has given to the TRS government, that clearly shows that people have a lot of confidence in the present government. The proactive government definitely is giving a big impact on this real estate market also. Recent government decisions about various softs they have given to real estate industry. All those things a very positive approach in Hyderabad.
Okay. Chalapathi Rao, I want to ask you this now. If we look at the movement of prices in Hyderabad over the last one quarter, we'll see Manikonda has seen the highest price rise as 15%, followed by Kondapur. But Gachibowli, which has up till now received all of that IT attention, has actually been stagnant at only a 1% increase in the quarter. What neighborhoods are seeing the most construction in Hyderabad right now? Where are the new project launches coming? Because I know that there was a lull for about a couple of quarters. There were no launches that happened in Hyderabad. That has changed now. And we're seeing more launches happen. Tell me which neighborhoods these launches are coming in.
Yeah, now a lot of high-rise buildings are being planned. And Hyderabad, for the last 8-9 years, Hyderabad West is the best market.
Okay.
And it will continue to be the best market for some more time, because maximum IT, IES and e-commerce jobs are also coming up in financial district and high-tech city area only. So I think last week somebody has put up a report about 10,000 units are being launched. But I think it is very ambitious, because the absorption rate in Hyderabad, according to so many market research association, concerns, is around 15,000 units per annum. So we are going in a big way, and the launches are happening in a big way. And of course, definitely the commercial area has picked up. Now the concern has been that B-grade commercial space has been, there a lot of vacancy in mostly in high streets also, office spaces are there. That metro can help in this situation. But the problem is in the metro also, see, as if you know, every government has to look into not one aspect or one commercial entity as separate. It has to be holistic. So we have been telling from the industry that at least, for example, the reason for vacancies in the high streets and office, B-grade office spaces, there is no parking place available in the buildings concerned. They are quite old buildings, and they have only one cellar, and of that majority is occupied by utilities, etc. There is hardly any parking available.
Okay.
At least when metro stations are coming, they should plan in a big way. Instead of that, wherever possible, they are also putting up malls. So I am really concerned. So the purpose of all this metro is not only ease the traffic, it should ease also the parking situation in the place. I think they should concentrate on that. Yeah.
All right, so problems in planning.
So
there's Sunil Agarwal, even, while we keep talking about an increased demand for commercial space in Hyderabad, and we know that's coming in because of the government that's pushing for investment at this point, there's still a lag between demand for commercial space, job creation that finally translates into demand for residential. How much of a lag do you expect that to be in Hyderabad at least? And when will you expect to see that, residential space turn around?
No, I think, there are two separate things. One is that there is a commercial demand from IT spaces, and I think there is a Knight Frank report that lays out 3.1 million square feet of absorption has happened in the previous 6 months. And if you take that, it's a 5-6 million square feet market, which is substantial. It's comparable to NCR market. It is a fair amount of absorption. Now, the second thing is about, IT-led, demand. Now, that demand is largely based on leasing of spaces. I think a lot of people who get into Hyderabad do not try and plan for houses, at least in the first 2-3 years. So when this space is being absorbed, things are going to happen. I think IT-led demand is going to hit the market 3-4 years later. Okay. And that trend we've seen in all the cities, that, you have the IT space absorption, be it Noida, be it Gurgaon, be it Whitefield, that people take a while to settle down. The second thing is that as far as in Hyderabad is concerned, there is a lot more demand from natural development to the city itself. I think when you look at a 7 million city, IT demand from, job creation of, let's say, 15,000, 20,000 people a year is marginal. And I would say it's not marginal, it may be 10-20%. When you look at that segment, which is a mid segment, it consists of about 30% demand. So Hyderabad at this point in time, my own view is that will see a lot of infrastructure boost, has seen a resurgence of economy. It will continue to see that. And while there's a grade B space, which I agree that is not going to be taken up too, there are these planning issues which are there in every city of the country, and I think we still need, a better implementation of planning laws. So that is going to play out. But where there's large job creation, those spaces are not in the city centers. They are away from the city centers. So I think overall Hyderabad will see a demand. But again, it's a city which has a lot of land around. So there are going to be metro corridors and specific corridors where this demand is going to come. And my guess is that it will be Gachibowli, it will be Madhapur, which will be Jubilee Hills, which will be Banjara Hills. That will still be the prime. And you will see these metro corridors, whether it is Miyapur line or it is, line which is extending towards the airport in phase 3 or Nagole. All these areas are going to get a much better traction of demand than other areas which are not connected. Kokapet will still see a lot of demand.
All right, we have Sharif on the phone line who's called us right now. He's a viewer with a question for us from Hyderabad. Sharif, go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, my question is, I booked a flat in Mantri Celestia in Gachibowli in 2009.
Okay.
This property was supposed to be handed over to us by December 2012. And it is now 2016. We haven't received the completion of this property.
Right.
And now my question is this, that, I booked this property at Mantri considering them to be a very reputed builder. And they have taken our 95% of the entire payment by 2012. And it's been like 4 years. They have not delivered this flat. And when I last visited this property, I felt it's going to take another 1 year for the entire block to be completed. So how, as a first-time buyer, we will have trust in the developers when people like Mantri default? And how are our interests being taken care of?
That's a fair question. Ram Reddy, I want you to answer this question as a representative of the industry at this point. We don't have representation from Mantri specifically as a company, but what answer would you give a customer who's calling right now saying first-time property buyer, having a bad experience, why will we come back to the market? On what basis can we trust developers?
Yeah, definitely it's not a good sign. What they have promised in 2012 and still they are not delivered. But I am not sure about the reasons behind it. But definitely the project is got delayed. We also got some information about it. But that is the reason the real estate bill is coming up, RERA. So definitely that is going to protect the consumer. So Mantri also should definitely respond to this. Whatever the compensation or whichever the way they have to satisfy the customer, I think they should take the responsibility. But exact reasons, without knowing the proper reasons, I should not comment about my co-builder. So definitely, I think it's better Mantri should. Yeah.
No, Ram Reddy, tell me this, and I'll ask Mr. Chalapathi Rao the same question. As industry bodies right now representing CREDAI and NAREDCO, is there anything you are doing to help customers who are facing problems? Are you initiating conversations between developers and their customers? Are you helping in any way?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever, there are some consumer grievance cell also is there. So whenever there is a grievance to us, definitely we are talking to various builders, whichever the complaint has come, and we are trying to resolve them. Most of the issues have been resolved. That CREDAI Hyderabad as a chapter, definitely they are taking care of it. So any grievances are there, they can represent to the CREDAI Hyderabad chapter. So there is a grievance cell. Definitely we will try to talk to the concerned developer, and we are trying to resolve the issues.
All right. So can we then let people know on this show right now, if they're in Hyderabad and they're facing a problem, they can get in touch with you or through you to the grievance cell, and you will find a way to mediate some sort of a discussion between the developer and the customer?
Definitely we'll do that. Definitely we'll do that.
No, definitely. The thing is, many big developers, they have defaulted. That means, as an industry body, we also have a responsibility to discipline the industry as such. So they should not be launching too much big projects without knowing the demand pattern, etc., etc. So that is the very reason that we have extensively supported the bringing up of the RERA bill. And of course, despite saying that, we have a lot of transparency, we are promoting transparency, nothing much has happened on the ground. That is the reason the RERA bill has come today. So I think we are supporting it. We will be helping the ministry also in framing the proper guidelines and bring on track this RERA bill as early as possible and address all the concerns of the thing. And of course, despite the cry from rooftop, the ministry is very adamant that it has to cover the existing projects. That means all these delays projects, thousands of people customers have suffered.
Mr. Rao,
And they
Mr. Rao, obviously RERA will
get the
help.
relief.
Obviously RERA will help. We all believe that RERA will be a massive help to this industry. But there's some time before RERA actually becomes actionable. In most states, it will take at least a year. In the meantime, what is NAREDCO doing? If there are customers watching right now who have bought homes in Hyderabad or in Telangana for that matter, not gotten delivery, who are facing trouble with developers who are members of NAREDCO, what can they do? What help will you offer?
Definitely, we speak to the specific company where the customer has a grievance and try to bring some relief. Naturally, whatever, not that, everything we have, every time we have to approach the legal cell or legal entity. The industry bodies are also here to help such.
Mr. You just said that NAREDCO will discipline developers to make sure that they launch projects that they can actually finish. How will you do that?
Yeah. No, because we will have to talk internally within the industry, and then all big people are also there. We will have to talk to each other. So this is a continuous process. It is not a one-time solution. So continuous process. We have been, it's not a new thing to us. Whenever there is a conference in Delhi, we see the aggrieved people coming there with placards and then
No. Tell me actually concrete measures what you will do. Having a conversation internally within NAREDCO, I mean, you could have that conversation whenever you want. I want to know for the buyers who are aggrieved right now in Hyderabad, what is NAREDCO doing? What will you do to help them? Give me concrete things that you will do.
No, definitely. Concrete things, any grievance person coming to us, we will speak to the concerned developer. Whatever relief is possible, we will give within the rules and framework of the agreements they have between them. So we have to examine the agreements between them. We have to examine the promises they have made and also the payment pattern, etc. It is not that we are only hearing the one side. So there are several cases where the developers have been reporting to us that the payments have been stopped by many of the people, and many people have also withdrawn from the projects. There are two sides of the coin.
Fair enough, Mr. Rao. Tell me this: how can the buyers who are watching right now on this channel, how can they get in touch with you if they have a grievance with a NAREDCO member developer?
Definitely, they can contact us. See, our websites are there. CREDAI is there. Our members, NAREDCO Telangana has 4 developer associations as its members. So, with more than 500 people, developers as our members totally.
They can't get in touch with 500 people. Give me one email ID that we can reach for any buyer who's watching right now who has a problem. NAREDCO-south@gmail.com or NAREDCO-ts@gmail.com. All right, that email ID will be on your screen in a bit. I also want to ask Mr. Ram Reddy, this Sharif who called, who's still on the phone line, from what I understand, has a problem with Mantri Celestia. Mantri, in this particular case, is a member of CREDAI. Will you take up this case personally within CREDAI and see if you can help this buyer?
Definitely. Let him speak to me and let him give a written this thing, whatever his grievance. Exactly, we should know the case. I'll speak to him once. Let him meet me. I'll take it up with personally. Then I'll take up with Mantri. I'll speak to him.
All right, okay. And can we pass on your contact details then? And for anybody else who's watching, Mr. Reddy, how can they get in touch with you if they have a problem with a CREDAI member developer in Hyderabad? If they're having an issue right now, who should they get in touch with?
Yeah, CREDAI Hyderabad, when all the CREDAI members, because I'm heading the state, but it should be resolved in the CREDAI Hyderabad actually. So CREDAI Hyderabad, they can go to the website of CREDAI Hyderabad, they can lodge a complaint, or they can visit our CREDAI Hyderabad office at Panjagutta. So they can represent their whatever grievances are there, they can represent it, whatever the best can be done from our side, we'll do it.
All right. So Sharif, if Sharif is still on the phone line, Sharif, Mr. Ram Reddy will take up your case personally, and my team will put you in touch with him, and we will personally track this case as well on Magicbricks Now to see what headway is being made to make sure that it's not something that's just being said on the channel, and we'll make sure that you get some sort of relief if relief is due. If there's anybody else who's watching right now who wants to get in touch, phone lines will be open in a bit. I understand we have more people on the phone line. Shri Krishna is on the phone from Hyderabad as well. Shri Krishna, go ahead. What's your question?
Hi. My question is, one, this after the AP and Telangana bifurcation, AP state capital is going to be shifted to the new capital.
Yes.
Because of this, exodus of the size of AP.
Okay, we seem to have lost him there, but he had a very interesting question. The fact that state has been bifurcated and now currently Hyderabad is functioning as capital of two states. That will move eventually. Hyderabad will only be capital of Telangana. When that happens, a lot of the state government machinery will move out as well. What sort of an impact will that have on the market in Hyderabad? Sunil Agarwal, do you want to tackle that question? Are we expecting some sort of dip in activity when one state capital moves out?
No, certainly there is a dip in the activity as far as political, activity is concerned. But let us not forget that Hyderabad is also a very, very important commercial center. So I don't see IT industry moving away. I don't see a lot of people suddenly deciding to live in new capital. So to the extent of, tourism industry, some marginal impact of 10% may be experienced because a lot of traffic is driven by some governments. A lot of, trade dependent on that kind of an activity does get affected. But as a city, we have not seen that if capital is shifted out of a certain place, there is suddenly a, dip, because the new capital itself takes a lot of time to sort of come up. We've seen that in Gandhinagar, moving from Ahmedabad to Gandhinagar, and Ahmedabad did not collapse. So I don't think so. It's going to be a straightforward connect that the day the capital is shifted, suddenly there's an impact. Okay. There will be minor segments that may be impacted, but Hyderabad at a 7-8 million population, I don't think so there's going to be a major impact on that.
All right, before we run out of time on this show, I want very specific answers from all three of our guests. For someone who's watching right now, who's looking to make a pure investment in Hyderabad, while you did talk about the fact that you're expecting to see quite a large, bump up in terms of prices, Sunil, give us very specific. If I were to give you, say, 45 lakh rupees right now, some of it leveraged with a home loan, and asked you to make an investment in Hyderabad, where would you invest and what would you buy?
I would buy an apartment in Kakatpally. I would definitely try and look at Madhapura more closely, because once that is connected with the metro, I am seeing a lot of rise there. I would put my money in Moosapet. So I would, pick up these three locations and say that, that's where I would want to see an appreciation. I'm expecting appreciation. But Kakatpally, because it's an existing neighborhood, I would definitely see that is going to give, good returns. Okay, so I would put my money there.
Kakatpally, Madhapur and Moosapet, and we are talking about a 2-bedroom apartment here, or would you be looking at something slightly larger, smaller? Hyderabad does like its villas and its standalone homes. Which would you be looking at?
So I would say that for a 40-45 lakh rupees, you would try and, book an apartment which is about 15,000 square feet at this point in time. And it's possible to get a decent 1,500 square feet apartment in Hyderabad at that price. So I would be looking at a location which is slightly, not centric, but slightly off center, but still well connected. and that is what I would put my money on. Land obviously has been the darling of investments across the country, but we've also seen that when you look at IT demand, you look at the new generation coming up, the millennials as they say, they don't like to stay in these standalone houses. So for investment purpose, if somebody has to really make an investment, it should be really at the prime locations of, Banjara Hills, Jubilee Hills, and that requires a lot more money.
In fact, the prices of Banjara Hills are not, for those of us who live in, say, Mumbai, are not as shocking. Banjara Hills is priced at about 4,500 rupees a square foot. Jubilee Hills is priced at about 6,000 rupees a square foot. And remember, the who's who of Hyderabad live in these neighborhoods. These are the upper end of the spectrum in terms of housing. Banjara Hills and Jubilee Hills, those prices are on your screen. They're really not that expensive. But if you're looking for appreciation, then you have to look you'll have to look at prices or neighborhoods that have room to grow. And that's the 3,500 rupees square foot neighborhoods, which is Kakatpally, Moosapet. These are neighborhoods we're talking about. Mr. Rao, quick question to you. Where would you instruct a new buyer to invest his money, and what sort of returns can he expect in that neighborhood?
No, definitely all the buyers are not going to invest as an investment. See, wherever they are, the location is important to them. So the investment has to take place wherever the location suits to them. But the appreciation only if you are looking at, I would suggest that on the ORR belt right from this financial district onwards to Patancheru Muttangi Junction. So this is going to be the future of Hyderabad.
Why is that?
This is going to be the future of Hyderabad.
Why do you see that neighborhood as the future of Hyderabad?
Because, there is a growth corridor there and lot of land deals are happening, and the land aggregation is also happening. The big players are doing land aggregation around Kollur area. So definitely this is going to turn up into production in a matter of 2 to 3 years. So already some ventures are there which are going at a very attractive price as of now near about Kollur and Nalaganda and all that. So this going to, because the employment is happening in the financial district, employment is happening in high-tech city, and whoever is coming from the city side, despite, even though we are saying metro rail is going to happen, I don't see it is happening in the next 1 year also. Okay. It will take more than a year to get the connection happen. So now, as of now, only 8 kilometer stretch between SR Nagar and Miyapur, and then Nagole to Metugoda is only happening. It is not even connecting Secunderabad station. In fact, they have deferred it earlier, saying that it is not a good strategy to open up because it is coming only up to Metugoda. It is not even connecting Secunderabad junction. Okay. But now also they are saying it is going to happen only up to Metugoda. So anyway, it is not going to have a great impact on that. But definitely the jobs are happening in financial district. People, the IT space and even e-commerce people, they have all contracted spaces, more spaces in and around that. Of course, the second place that is happening also in the east part of the city, near the Sagar Road, some investments have come already there, TCS and other people have come up. But of course, the majority, around 80% of the new jobs are going to be created in the financial district and around that. So definitely the feeding place for that will be the traffic free lanes that will be built up along the ORR. Otherwise, people are now traveling, it is rather, very foolish for many of us to travel right from ASR Nagar, when far off place, up to the high-tech city and beyond that, it's very troublesome to treat the financial district.
Mr. Rao, Patancheru and Nalgonda are the two recommendations that Chalapathi Rao has given us. Sunil, I have a very quick question for you now. Rightfully said that, real estate development and demand for real estate is completely, the prices of real estate completely a demand-supply game. And if we're talking about 10,000 new units being launched in Hyderabad for supply, and the fact that there is unlimited supply of land in Hyderabad as well for it to grow around the peripheries, all of that supply will eventually come in the way of that 30 to 50% uptick that you were talking about. If supply is going to come in at this point and 10,000 apartments are going to be opened up for sale, where will the price rise come from?
I think there is a 10,000 apartment that should not excite us. What should excite us is that the demand levels are higher. So I think if 10,000, apartments are coming up, it's good news for Hyderabad, because after long, prices have really, the launches have started to happen. The other thing is, yes, there is land around Hyderabad, and in any city which has a lot of land, and you look at NCR, what is happening is that wherever there is corridors of transportation available, you do have traction to those corridors. So even in a city where there is a lot of land, it is the metro corridors that will see the price rise. And I agree that financial district is the hub. A lot of job creation will happen there. So ORR, Kokapet, Kolur, all those areas where you will have an ease to reach to the work centers will come up. So I think if you look at markets across, you would have markets which are really, really, not well connected, and in the 2,000 rupee range, there will be a substantial amount of that happening. There will be markets in that 3,000, 5,000 range, which is where I think the rise is going to happen. And currently I see those markets where there's a potential to go at 4,000 rupees, really at 2,500, 3,000 rupees. So I think that's the spot that I am saying is the most, and I'm not saying there will be a general across the board rise, but along the corridors of growth, of employment, I would want to, believe that it is going to match up, and the prices are going to go up at least 30% over the next 2-3 years when development is going to happen.
All right, a market like this, a prediction of a price rise of 50% should excite any investor. Ram Reddy, what neighborhood are you betting big on right now?
Yeah, definitely this western part and is very encouraging now. But I am looking at the other side. I mean, when you look at the northern part of the city, like Alwal, then what is the Kompally, this route, I mean, you have a apartments at a very cheap price actually. So this ranging from around 2,000 rupees to 2,700, 2,800 rupees. Definitely, government also is planning to have something in that side also. Once some industries comes up at that location, there will be a substantial percentage increase in the investment actually. I mean, when a person invested 2,000 rupees today, I mean 30%, 40% increase, definitely it's going to make a big difference for them. Anyway, these western part and the eastern part already current booming locations. Similarly, when you look at the southern parts are so beyond airport that Srisailam Highway, Tukuguda and other places, Pharma City is going to come up very shortly. I mean, next year they are going to
How many jobs
have
will
this
Pharma City generate that are white collar and will generate demand for housing, Mr. Reddy? Pharma City will largely be a manufacturing hub.
Manufacturing hub, but definitely it's not a small, it's coming up in a 12,000 acres of land actually. So when it's a massive project actually, it's not a small project. So definitely many industries are going to come up. It's a future I'm talking, it's not a present I'm talking. So 2017 onwards the projects are going to set up. So definitely there will be a job creation happens. Even you look at Adipatla also. The TCS already has got the biggest campus there, and there are aerospace also. A lot of industries are coming up. There are already 2,000, 3,000 employees in the aerospace already there, and TCS also already 7,000-8,000 employees are there. So definitely those areas also now. Presently there is no social infrastructure. The people are not willing to buy the things there. Once maybe in a year or two, definitely there will be substantial social infrastructure will come up there. Definitely there is also good investment for anybody.
Right, Adipatla is a good investment for anybody. Remember, we're talking about the fact that Hyderabad might actually bounce back from the lull it has seen over the last couple of years because of its political uncertainty. Now that we know which direction the state is headed in and the city is headed in, Sunil Agarwal predicting a 50% rise in prices in some parts of Hyderabad. We're going to be watching that city very, very carefully. I'd like to thank all three of the gentlemen who joined me on the show this evening for answering those questions and talking about Hyderabad. If you have questions for us, feel free to get in touch. Our contact details will be on your screen in a bit. We're here to help you make the smartest possible decision when it comes to buying property, whether it's an investment or a home that you plan to live in. Also, remember, a quick recap, both members of CREDAI and NAREDCO on the show today promising to take up cases from unhappy buyers, and they gave out their contact details as well. So if you want to get in touch with someone about a home that you've bought and if you've had some trouble with it, get in touch with us. Our contact details are on your screen and we'll pass on those problems to the relevant people. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, connectivity boost for Mumbai. Work on the Colaba-Bandra Seeps Metro could begin in less than a month. We'll tell you more on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.